Drinking and driving is an event that takes place every day and everywhere. People choose to drink and drive for so many reasons. Sometimes people think that they've got to drink to have a good time, and sometimes those people have no intention of driving. That's not always the case. Usually after one has drunk alcohol, his or her ability to make rational decisions is impaired. So in the end, they just decide to drink and drive. Now, many of you have drank and drive, I'm sure. I myself have. You make this decision, and it's not always a decision that's going to get you arrested or having an accident that causes deaths. But who wants to take that risk? It's much too great of a risk to take. Drinking and driving is a crime, period. And it's a crime that causes consequences that affect the person both physically and financially. And not just themselves, so many others. Hi, my name is Jacob Birch. And I want to bring this serious issue to your attention today, before you or your loved one becomes just another statistic. Drunk driving is an epidemic that continues to have severe and life-threatening consequences for everyone involved. If we simply just take a few steps against drunk driving, we can help decrease this epidemic. I'm going to introduce you to some statistics, and I'm going to discuss some ways that you yourself can help prevent drunk driving, and possibly in turn save the lives of your loved ones or even yourself. So many people don't realize just how bad drunk driving is in America today, just how often it happens and how expensive it is for those involved. Every 52 minutes on average, someone is killed in a drunk driving crash. It equals out to 10,288 people in 2012 alone. 10,288 unnecessary deaths due to drunk driving. The worst part about that is most of those deaths weren't the drunk drivers themselves, but innocent families, children, wives, husbands, who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The annual cost of alcohol-related crashes in America totals to more than $51 billion a year. $51 billion. An average drunk driver will drive 87 times before ever being pulled over. That might seem like it's high chances, but I tell you what, if you get pulled over, that's the least of your worries. There are so many other things you are risking by getting behind that wheel. Some alcohol affects people in different ways, and some people can handle it better than others, or so they think. But there are some basic functions that stop working at different levels of alcohol intake, and I want to take you over a few of those. With a blood alcohol content of 0.02, people begin to experience a loss of judgment, their body gets relaxed, and they have an altered mood than normal. And this results in a decline of visual functions, and it results in the decline of the ability to perform two tasks at the same time. At a blood alcohol content of 0.05, mind you, these are still legal driving blood alcohol contents. Your brain functionality is significantly impaired. You have slower eye movements, your visual perception is gone, your reaction time is slowed, and your ability to process information is adversely affected. This results in reduced coordination, reduced ability to track moving objects, and most importantly, difficulty steering and reduced response to emergency driving situations. At a blood alcohol content of 0.08, which in most states is legal limit, your muscle coordination becomes poor, you lose balance, your speech is slurred, you lose vision, reaction time, and even hearing. It becomes so much harder to detect danger and having the judgment of self-control and reasoning at this point, and you're behind a wheel. There's some things we can do to prevent harming ourselves and others. We all need to take an active role in helping to prevent drunk driving. A few ways we can go about doing that is, first of all, plan ahead. Put money aside for a taxi if you have to. I promise it's cheaper. And if that means having one less drink at the bar to afford the taxi, it's worth it. Make sure you have a designated driver. There's so many places, like I went to school in Ruston, there's no taxis there. Have a designated driver, have a plan. And most importantly, is have a backup designated driver, because there's so many times that I've gone out where my designated driver was not the designated driver. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. Have a plan. It is your responsibility to make sure that no one ever drives drunk. If you have to, offer to take them home if you yourself haven't been drinking. Even if you think that you're less drunk than they are, if you've been drinking, do not drive. Offer to let them stay the night if you have to. Offer to give them a taxi. And stop being afraid to speak up, because I promise you will regret the moment you didn't say something to help prevent the death of your friend or the death that they caused in a drunk driving accident. If you throw a party at your house, make sure that people are leaving with their sober driver. And if they don't have a sober driver, offer for them to have a sober driver take them home. A friend who is designated at your party, willing to do that. Once again, just offer to let them stay the night. It's the easiest thing to do. And most importantly, take their keys. If you feel that they're unable to drive, take their keys from them. If we actively start taking a stand against drunk driving and taking steps to plan ahead, never let anyone drive drunk, we're helping to prevent more fatalities due to drunk driving. I personally have dealt with many friends and loved ones who have been drunk drivers. Yeah, they were the drunk drivers. I have friends who've wrapped their trucks around trees. On my 18th birthday, the day I was leaving for college, I got a phone call at 4 in the morning telling me that my dad was going over 100 miles an hour on a motorcycle and was so drunk that he fell asleep. Don't be so selfish that you take those chances. And if you are going to drink, don't be so selfish that you're going to risk taking someone else's life from your decisions. Be smart. Have a plan. Thank you.